Hi Taurus, welcome to your August 2019 Astrology 33 reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, subscribed, viewed, shared, donated to the channel, you name it. I appreciate all that. And for those of you who like to book a personal reading with me, follow me on Instagram or donate to the channel. Just check out the description of the video for all that information. Alright, so with that out of the way, we have a Celtic cross spread on the table as usual. Guys got a couple extra cards that popped up there, and then I also pulled some oracle cards that we'll use to help tie everything together after we get through the main spread. You got an extra card in one of those two decks, and then we also have a mudra card, so there's plenty to get to. Let's jump right in. I'm getting a mixture of a career for some of you and then relationships for some of you, but we'll feel it out as we start to go through card by card. Starting with the main position, we have the Devil. So this is actually the major arcana card for Capricorn. I'm recording this right in the middle of July, so basically we're right under that energy of that full moon eclipse in Capricorn. So that could just be saying that, whatever took place for you guys during that eclipse, that could be a theme that you're still focused on this month. Now, that's an eclipse. For you guys, it'll be in your ninth house. So for some of you, this could just be saying that you're wrapping up school, possibly. It would most likely be higher education or some kind of formal training within a job setting to get to another level. Um, but in general, this could just be saying, if we do take the fact that Capricorn is just naturally the 10th house ruler, it can be related to career as well. So either way, I feel like in a career sense, whether you guys are wrapping up something with school or some kind of certification or just busy with your career, this looks like you're really just plugging away at it, very busy, putting a lot of effort and energy into it. You might actually feel like it's almost a bit of an oppressive environment too, especially if we look at the card that's in the challenge position, which is the Ten of Wands. And some decks, they even refer to this energy as oppression. So, that's the main vibe that I'm getting in, as far as the career sense. You're really working hard at something. You might not feel too good about it given the card that's in the challenge position, but you might just feel like you have to, right? So you could just be obsessive about trying to, rack up some money or even just some experience in your career. Now, for some of you too, another vibe that I was getting with this is that this could just be saying, as far as this could actually be for some of you, maybe not as many as the first scenario, but for some of you, this could actually be saying that you're trying to conceive. And this could just, point to a sexual energy there, obviously, the devil. And you could just feel like, if you guys have really been trying for a while, right? If we look at the phallic symbols there and the person carrying them in the challenge position, it could just be saying that you guys have been plugging away, no pun intended, trying to get, trying to conceive, and it's just almost to the point where you're not even enjoying it anymore. It's almost become a burden, for some of you who are having some trouble with conceiving. And that may change for some of you in the month of August, just especially towards the end, because there's going to be a lot of energy going on in your fifth house, and generally speaking, having transits in the fifth house can help with that kind of stuff. In the foundation position, we have the Five of Swords. So if this is in the career sense, this could just be saying, again, going back to maybe you feel like you're in an oppressive work environment. Maybe it's a very cutthroat field, so, they just want you to pump out more work. All right, you have to keep working, keep working, keep working, right? Maybe it's a commission-based thing, for example. So, like, first example that comes to mind, like, say you're a car salesman, right? So, okay, the more sales you close on, the more money you're going to make. But if they flood the floor with like 20 salespeople when there's really only need for 10, then you're really gonna have to hustle, and then people could get a little cutthroat in that type of environment. And this could just even represent outright deception to an extent too. So maybe you have people in your workplace who they might give you a lot more work than they're taking on, you know what I mean, and then try to tell you, oh no, oh, we're busy too, you know what I mean? So that could be a way that you might feel it's playing out, that they're putting way too much on your plate, but then at the same time, they're not really doing anything. Um, This could just represent arguments as well, though, and even in a relationship context. So let's say, in the stereotypical example that would come to mind is if you're having a really tough time at work, you come home because you're all stressed out, and then you might blow up on your spouse, right? Because you're just really worn out and you feel like you don't have any energy for anything else, and that could come out in a negative way, right? So be careful of that, especially because around the middle of the month, I think. Let me think about that. Yeah, right around the middle of the month. All right, when Mercury retrograde started for you guys, it was basically squaring Uranus in your sign, and basically it's going to be going direct by the time we get into August. And what's going to happen is it's going to make that exact same aspect again around the middle of the month. So, that could be especially when you might have to look out for this energy the most, where, you might just let something out and end up doing damage. What I say with this card, regardless, like especially in an argument sense, is it's going too far. You know what I mean? Like the guy's holding three swords. Why would you need three swords, right? Maybe at most you would need two, but if you have more swords than you have hands, what the hell are you gonna do with them, right? It's not productive. And that's what this type of energy is in general. It's not productive. It's like that argument that you go into knowing that nothing positive is going to come out of it, but you still do it anyway. So just something to be mindful of there. Just watch out for that. Because you could obviously see how those two would add together, right? You're just overburdened at work. You come home, you're just worn out. Someone might say something and you just might blow up on them, or even a friend or something. So just try to watch out for that. And then this could also be stress buildup too. Like I said, for those of you who might be trying to conceive, right? You might just be like, okay, you're just doing it so much that, you just are worn out. You know what I mean? And then that could also bring some tension to the surface. So, a couple things that are coming to mind there. In the past position, we have the Empress, the Ace of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles. So the Empress is often a card that's attributed to your sign. We see the obvious Venus there, and you guys are one of the signs ruled by Venus. And it's definitely an earthy vibe, so I could see, even though Hierophant's your official card in the Major Arcana, this is often used to point your energy as well. So this could just be talking about you. And maybe this is why you're so dedicated to your career, because if we look at these three cards together, this could just be saying, this is where you want to be, right? But you came to the realization you're not there. So you realize, all right, well, in order for me to get there, I'm really going to have to plug away and get to work, right? I'm going to have to start building something. Because the Empress energy, for example, just has this expectation. And, I reluctantly say entitlement sometimes, but, they have this expectation that there's always going to be something coming into them. So if that's the energy you have, receptivity is good to an extent, but if you just expect things to keep falling into your lap, eventually you might come to the realization, oh wait, if I really want to get to this level, I'm going to have to actually put in the work as well. You know what I mean? So that could be what it is for some of you, but then as we could see from these two cards here, it might be now you're taking it to the other extreme. You might have went from not doing enough to now you're trying to take on way too much, almost trying to make up for lost time, essentially, So try to be careful with that. And then this also made me think of the conceiving thing again, right? Like maybe you and the person you're with decided, hey, we want to have kids, because this is a card that also points to fertility and pregnancy. You had a talk, like, all right, yeah, let's do this. And now you're like, okay, well, let's lay out a plan, right? Let's figure out, all right, we have to start saving up money, right? So maybe that's why you're working harder. Like, all right, I'll take on more hours at work. Maybe you take on a second job, whatever the case may be, to help prepare yourselves to have the child, right? Or this could even be that some of you have already found out that either you or the person you're with is pregnant. So, and that could have been the Ace of Swords, like, hey, by the way, I'm pregnant, right? And then, all right, well, now I have to really, we have to start building here to make sure we're ready for this. And especially if you're dealing with a Capricorn, that could be the case, since that is a Capricorn card there, because, you guys have, if you're a Capricorn, then Uranus would be in their fifth house, which could definitely lead to a sudden pregnancy. And, obviously Uranus is in your sign right now. So the connection there would be pretty clear. And not to mention, you guys have Jupiter in your eighth house too of Sagittarius. So Jupiter could also have led to a lot more sexual activity for you guys. And so if it could just be that where some of you have already found out you're pregnant, or at least they're planning to do it, right? And then as far as the more sudden pregnancy angle, that could also come into play too with, the Jupiter energy. But keep in mind, if you guys are having trouble conceiving, on top of what I said with the fifth house energies, um, Jupiter's been retrograde for a while in your eighth house, and it is going to go back direct around August 10th or 11th, depending on where you are. So as it starts to build momentum, and like I said, you're going to have a lot of stuff going into your fifth house toward the end of the month as well. So combine those two energies, that definitely might help alleviate some pressure in that area. If that's something you're dealing with. All right, in the present position, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. So thinking of the career angle first, this could just be saying that whatever you have been working on, like I said, whether it was maybe for some of you finishing up school or getting some kind of certification so you could get to the next level in your current job, whatever the case may be, you might actually get an offer this month, saying that, okay, these are the finances. What I usually say with the ace energy is, if we look at it, there's always the hand coming out of the cloud with the aces, which to me shows it's something that's in the idea stage. So you might hear from them that, okay, we're going to give you this money, but it might not be quite in your hands yet. You might have to wait. For example, they might tell you, okay, yeah, we're going to give you the promotion in October, right? So, okay, so now here we are, you're watching this in August, let's say. Then okay, well, in the meantime, I'm not going to have that money in my hand until October, so maybe you have to try to plan for when you will have the money, right? And then with the Six of Pentacles there, that could just be saying that, it's basically them giving you your due for all the hard work you have been putting in. Trying to think if anything else comes to mind with these two energies together. No, I think that's pretty much it. And this is also a Taurus card too, by the way, middle 10 degrees of Taurus. So for those of you, if that's where your Taurus placements are, that might resonate for you a little bit more. But yeah, it's the main thing that I'm getting. That, it's like, okay, you hear about financial news, but it's just a matter of it's not going to be in your hands quite yet. And, another thing that could be too, quite honestly, is they might promise you, they might tell you, all right, we'll give you some of the money now, right? And then we'll give you the rest later. So it might be a staggered thing. So, okay, yeah, we'll give you a 2% raise now. We'll give you another 3% in January, something weird like that. All right, in the near future position, we have the Two of Cups and the Two of Wands. So this can just be saying, again, going back to the love angle, right? Now, for those of you who aren't already in a relationship, this could be you actually planning to make an offer to someone with these two cards together. To me, that Two of Wands energy is the energy of starting something new, right? And then with the Two of Cups, obviously that something new would be a love relationship. So maybe that's why you've been working. Maybe there's someone in your life that you realized, okay, this person's definitely relationship material, but you guys being earth signs, you might have felt like, all right, well, I have to get my money straight before I could make an offer to this person, especially if you view them on like the Empress level, right? You might have put them on a bit of a pedestal. So you're like, okay, if I'm going to make an offer to this person, I have to make sure my money's right. Which isn't necessarily the case, but earth signs tend to feel that way. Pentacles are your element. So, of course, you want to feel comfortable with that element before you can extend yourself to other areas of your life, right? So that could have been what's going on there. So you could have just been really focused on career, trying to save up money. Like, all right, let me make this person an offer. So for some of you, it could even be a proposal, generally speaking, with two of wands, two of cups, especially with two of wands, I do see it as more of a new relationship. But taking the whole energy and totality of the cards we looked at so far, for some of you, it definitely could be that some of you are thinking of proposing to someone. And that's why you've been working so hard, trying to get maybe save up for the engagement ring, right? Maybe that's what you've been doing. Like working really hard, like, all right, finally I can afford this freaking ring, right? So that's the main vibe that I'm getting there. And from the career angle, I'm not really seeing as much there. I could just be saying that, you might feel like you've negotiated with someone, right? Discussing with them, hey, I put in all this work. And then you feel like you guys reach a bit of a compromise, right? They say, okay, like I was saying with that angle of maybe as a compromise, they give you some money now and then they'll give you more later, right? Like, okay, we'll give you some of the money now. And then once when the new year starts, we'll give you even more, right? So that could be where you feel like, okay, I feel like I got, some of what I wanted at least, and I'm going to get the rest later, right? So it could just be you guys negotiated something at work. All right, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Knight of Cups. So again, this is another energy that to me obviously points to you could definitely be extending a love offer to someone. And another thing that comes to my mind too, is if that Five of Swords energy played out where, like I said, maybe you were so stressed at work, you ended up blowing up on the person you're with. And now you're in damage control, like, oh crap, now I have to, really try to make it up to this person, you know what I mean? So that could be what you guys are on now, like, all right, well, now I have to, undo the damage I've done. So that could be how it's playing out for some of you. If this is just pointing to an energy, this is actually a Pisces card. So the next thing to be going on in Pisces really is going to be the full moon in Pisces, which I think will be uh, probably within the first, maybe between the first and second week of September. So maybe this is saying that, all right, you're putting in the work now and planning on making an offer to someone in September. As far as, like I said, maybe proposing, maybe asking them to be in a relationship with you, maybe even, this has just been an idea of yours that you want to have a kid with someone, but you haven't officially told them yet. And you're like, all right, well, before I even propose the idea to them, let me make sure I have my money right. So that could even be how it's playing out for some of you too. In the position of the environment's influence on the situation, we have the Hermit card. So this is actually a major arcana card for Virgo. So in the most basic sense, this could just be pointing to the fact that there's going to be a lot of energy in Virgo, like I said, towards the end of the month in particular. I think Mars is going to get there first, like a few days before the sun does, and Venus is going to join it, then Mercury is going to join it towards the very end of the month. So there's going to be a whole lot going on in Virgo. So I could just be saying that that's what that is. And then that would be a lot of energy in your fifth house. So again, pointing to thinking about children. Fifth house is also romance, creativity. So that could just be saying that this is what's on your mind, but could also be saying that you're dealing with a Virgo. But really what I'm feeling more than anything, thinking about that angle again, where, like I said, for some of you, if you did end up messing up with someone that you're in a relationship with and now you're on damage control trying to repair things, this could just be saying that they're really, looking it over. They might be making you sweat it out a bit. Because if I look at where the Hermit's looking, he's looking in one way somewhat towards the Two of Cups. So if that's an offer that you made to repair things, and then also kind of looking at that Five of Swords, So they could really still be like, okay, measuring up. All right, was the damage you did with this argument or whatever, does that, does this offer wash that away, right? So, and maybe they are going to forgive you, but they're just really making you sweat it out because they're still annoyed with what you did, you know what I mean? So that's the main thing I'm getting there. So, and this could just be saying that they're still quiet and introspective, if it was like a big blow up, they just might be like trying to think about how they want to handle it moving forward, so if they get a little quiet on you, even if you come forward with an offer, just try to give them a little time, don't push them. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the star card. So this is a major arcana card for Aquarius. And thinking about that whole energy of messing up, it makes me think of the fact that in the Aquarius July love reading, actually there was that theme of someone messing up and trying to do damage control. So if you guys are with an Aquarius, maybe that's who you messed up with, and now you're trying to repair things with them. That could be saying that that could be what this is representing. I can't remember if there was any particular sign I was getting the vibe from in their reading, like if it was a Earth sign or what, because I recorded that a while ago. But if you are dealing with an Aquarius, definitely check out their July love reading. It might give you a little insight to what's going on there. But this is also known as the wish card too. So this could just be saying that this is what you're hoping for, whether it's you're proposing to someone or you want someone to propose to you. If you do want to have a child, right? If you have a certain career goal in mind, it could just be saying that that's what's on your mind, wish fulfillment. And the good thing is, at the bottom of the deck, you guys have Wheel of Fortune, and like I said, that represents Jupiter, and Jupiter's in the sign of Sagittarius. Still retrograde, but it's gonna actually go back direct around the 10th or 11th of August. So could just be saying things as far as other people's money. So whether it is getting a raise, right, or combining resources with someone if you're gonna get married or having a child, right? Any holdups and blockages with all that should start to move forward for you guys. Especially towards the end of August, like I said, once all that Virgo energy kicks in too. So should be a pretty good time overall. And then in the outcome position, we have the World card. So this is actually another Saturn type energy. So this could just be pointing to more of those Capricorn themes we already talked about with careers. So like I said, maybe some of you graduated school since Capricorn's your ninth house. Because to me this represents completions, and it also represents the North Node too. So maybe this is actually you learned some lessons about communication, because there was initially a couple weeks ago, like I said, I'm recording this in mid-July, so a couple weeks ago there was that new moon eclipse in your third house of communication, which was where the North Node is. Could be pointing to that. And overall, though, this could just be saying maybe you get the promotion, maybe you graduated, right? Maybe whatever karmic lessons you had to learn, you might have actually learned them now and you get to move forward in those areas. So definitely a pretty positive card to have in the outcome position, especially in the upright. Shows that you successfully completed something, and it could be any of those things that we just mentioned. And I mean, you do see the fixed signs too represented in the card, so definitely energy that you guys are comfortable with. All right, starting with the Oracle cards now. The first one you guys got from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck is Poised. There's the artwork for it, and the number is 48, in case it has any significance for you. We'll see what that says first. So this could just be talking about all that focus you've been putting into career, or working towards some kind of goal to make an offer to someone. Okay, it says being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best, confidence. The Oracle's message. You can be assured that you are ready for anything right now. You know what you need to, your skills are sharp, you've come to this place armed with wisdom and knowledge, and you sense a new phase of your life about to begin. People respond to your confidence and trust you. This is an auspicious time to begin new things. So, like I said, maybe not for those of you who watch this as soon as I post it, but especially, like I said, when the August energy really starts to get rolling, when, Mercury starts coming out of its shadow, when Jupiter goes direct, when all of these energies go into your fifth house, then yeah, that could definitely be a good time for starting new things for you. All right. The relationship message says when you're confident and happy in your own skin, you are ready for deeper, more intimate relationships. You have nothing to prove now. You are completely yourself and can handle anything. Love, friendships, and harmonious new connections are all present now or are coming in. You're ready to give and receive from the heart. This is a beautiful place to be. So you're ready to give and receive from the heart. We see the Knight of Cups there, the Two of Cups, so that could definitely be saying that that's the energy you're in. So definitely seems to support the general theme with the main spread as well. The prosperity message says you have every reason to feel confident. Everything you need to make your success concrete is now at your disposal. You can take action knowing you are ready to step into your power, into your light, and into your service to the world. The direction you're moving in is your destiny. Your soul is smiling with joy as you align with this truth. So that's definitely a pretty cool message there too. And maybe that's saying that, maybe you're moving away from a career where you did feel like just overly burdened, like it was just no real purpose to it, right? Because if we look at the Ten of Wands energy, it's like the person's carrying all those wands, but can they even see where they're going, right? Do they even know what the end game is at that point? So maybe this is just saying that you're moving towards something more emotionally fulfilling as far as a new career path. That could be the way it's playing out for some of you too. All right, like I said, you got two cards from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. The first one you guys got is Parrot Spirit. It says, watch your words. There's the artwork for it and the number 45. Now, watch your words immediately made me think of the Five of Swords energy, but we'll see what it has to say. Okay, Oracle message says, what are you saying to yourself? What message are you repeating? Is it something that makes you feel good about yourself and reminds you of your strengths and potential? Parrots mimic the sounds around them, and when parrot spirit appears, it is time to be more mindful of your self-talk and its qualities. What do you say to others? Are you repeating what you truly believe? Remembering to speak with light and love can become a habit. Be generous with compliments and thanks, affirming all that is good so that your loving, healing words will be heard throughout the jungle, cutting through the noise and inspiring others. Listen for the words that remind you of all the strength, abundance, and joy in your life and in the world around you, and then repeat them, affirming what is real, true, and nurturing to the soul. The universe will reflect back to you the story you tell. Words matter, so choose ones that lift you up and inspire others to remember that beauty surrounds us. So definitely an interesting message there, especially because, like I said, you guys had that new moon eclipse in your third house of communication recently. So, and just having a north node there in general could definitely be, that could be one of the huge themes that you guys are learning about. And like it was saying there, not just the way you communicate to others, but even your self-talk, right? Like if you're doing this job and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm never going to get to where I want to go, right? Something like that. It's just could be saying you're putting out negative energy in that regard. All right. The next card you guys got is Rabbit Spirit. Now is a lucky time. There's the artwork. And 49 is the number for that one. So yeah, lucky time with the Wheel of Fortune. Sounds like a pretty solid month. Hopefully that's how it plays out for you guys. But let's see what the actual message says. It says, a sunny meadow calls, and Rabbit Spirit appears to lead you out of your dark warren and into the light so that you can participate in a fertile and beautiful experience. It may seem safe below ground, but the magic happens when you come out and take the risk of being vulnerable and co-creating something new. You are being invited into a new life that you have no experience with, but have no fear. Today is also a time to be fruitful and productive as you enjoy Rabbit Spirit's sunny and prolific energy. At this time, whatever you intend to bring to life will find fertile ground. There are no mistakes, really, when you are co-creating with Spirit, so let new ideas spring to the surface, knowing that now is a lucky time of tremendous possibility. So what stuck out to me there was when it said, lead you out of your dark warren and into the light. That made me think of the devil energy, right? The dark warren, like maybe it's saying you've just been so locked in with career stuff or whatever particular thing you had in mind that you haven't been getting out enough, you know? So even just could just be saying just that. Switch your energy up in that way could be helpful. But hopefully you guys got something positive from that message. And the last thing we have is a mudra card. So for those of you who haven't been watching my videos this year, I've been pulling mudra cards for all the signs for the monthly videos. And the one that you guys got this month is Kubera mudra. And what a mudra is, it's basically a hand gesture. This is the particular one you guys got for a month. And basically you hold them while meditating, usually for a minimum of 5 minutes. For those of you who are more accustomed to meditating, you could try a half hour, 45 minutes. But yeah, if you don't normally meditate, that would feel like an eternity. So 5 minutes is a good starting point. Keyword for this one is abundance. And I'll turn the card around so you guys can see the messages for it. Alright, so if you want to pause it or take a screenshot, you can. And it says, clears the frontal sinuses and helps to balance left and right nostrils, improves sense of smell, sharpens inner vision and ability to more clearly see your path in life, helps create abundance, especially related to virtuous desires that take into consideration the welfare of all beings. So definitely a pretty positive message there. Hopefully you guys can find something useful with that. So what I'll do is I'll put the name of that in the description as well if you wanted to look into that a bit more. So we'll wrap up there, guys, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.